So the story that I have today is called Pumpkin Jack. Just like our Jack, Pumpkin Jack. All right, and it's written.
a lot of leaves.
It is. It is written and illustrated by Will Hubbell. And so I know a lot of you carved pumpkins for Halloween last week, right? We carved a pumpkin for Halloween last week. You didn't? Oh, because the squirrels ate all your pumpkins, right? Right? So the squirrels ate your pumpkins. But those of you that carved pumpkins, what do they look like now?
A jack-o'-lantern.
Do they still look like a jack-o'-lantern today? Or do they look a little squishy? They're looking a little squishy now. Yeah, I got thumbs up on that. Let's take a look at.
Mine looks good.
Yours looks good still? Okay.
I got 2 pumpkins. I got 3 pumpkins.
Well, let's see what happens to Pumpkin Jack. Okay? Pumpkin Jack. Written and illustrated by Will Hubbell. Oh, I might need different glasses for this. We'll see. When Tim carved his first pumpkin, it was fierce and funny and just perfect. A jack-o'-lantern this good deserved a name, so Tim gave it one, Jack. Excellent. Long after the best trick-or-treat candy was eaten, Tim still kept Jack. At night, when a candle made Jack's face dance on the wall and filled the dark with warm pumpkin smells, Tim felt Jack was almost magic. Yet, too soon, the spell was broken. This pumpkin is beginning to rot, announced Mom. It's time to throw it out. Tim knew it was useless to argue. He carried Jack to the garden, which was filled with the brown ghosts of last summer's plants. A dead garden is better than a trash can, thought Tim. Still, it made him sad to leave Jack outside and alone. Whenever chores or play brought Tim to the garden, he looked at Jack. Every time Jack was different. He became wrinkled, and his fierce smile began to look silly. Does he look different? Yeah. Mold spread over Jack's bright orange skin. As the days turned colder, Jack grew flatter. Flatter.
Happy buddy.
Yeah. Winter began. Soon, Jack was hidden beneath the snow, and Tim forgot about him. The cold, heavy jacket days came, snowmen and sliding days, indoor days, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Valentine's. When all these days had passed and the March winds melted the snow, Tim found Jack. There wasn't much left, just a faded and crumpled pumpkin skin, a stem, and a few seeds. Jack's Halloween magic was a distant memory now. Tim scraped a thin blanket of earth over the last bits of his pumpkin. "Goodbye, Jack," he whispered. So he put a little bit of dirt on top and said goodbye at last, because that's all that was left. Some seeds, a little bit of the pumpkin shell and the stem. When spring turned barefoot warm, a tiny sprout appeared where Jack had been. Tim found it and guessed what it was. What do you think it is?
Pumpkin.
A pumpkin plant. That's cool. In the days that followed, Tim weeded and watered and watched the sprout. Slowly and steadily, the plant changed and grew. It branched and spread a web of vines over the ground, but no pumpkins appeared. Yet. The days turned hot. Flowers opened on the plant each morning, yellow stars that twisted shut forever in the afternoon. Still, there were no pumpkins.
Next year is going to be pumpkin.
You think? Finally, Tim found a little green ball growing behind a crumpled blossom. A pumpkin! Tim let out a whoop and ran to show his mom. By August, the plant had spilled onto the lawn. Tim's favorite game became pumpkin hunting. He carefully waded among the leaves, searching for green pumpkins like hidden treasures. Do you see one? Yeah. Oh, there's one there by my finger too. Do you see it? Right? He's pumpkin hunting. School began again and the days cooled. Tim had less time to visit the garden. When he did, the pumpkin plant seemed tired. There were very few new leaves, and the old tattered ones no longer hid the fat green pumpkins. Then one October morning, Tim woke to see frost coating the garden. The frozen plant seemed changed to pale blue glass. There's a big pumpkin there. See it? After school, Tim discovered what the frost had done. The pumpkin plant's leaves were as limp and wet as paper. It was dying. Tim searched among the withered leaves for the unripe pumpkins. He picked them and put them on the front porch, hoping for one more change. See that big green pumpkin? He picked it green. By Halloween, the pumpkins had ripened to bright orange. There were many, for the plant had been generous, and Tim was generous too. He gave away all the pumpkins except for one. From jack-o'-lantern to seed to pumpkin again, full circle was almost complete. Now it was time for Tim to do his part. He gave his pumpkin a face. It smiled at him in a fierce and funny way. Tim smiled too and said, "Welcome back, Jack." And that's the end. What happened to Jack, the pumpkin? Right? There was a day where we talked about the word decay. When something decays, it rots away and turns to dirt. So the pumpkin, when Tim put Jack out into the garden, it had the opportunity to rot away and turn back into dirt. Except for in the spring, he found what three things? Remember?
Pumpkin.
He found in the spring, before it started growing, he found some what, Ava? Yep. He found some seeds, and he found the stem, and he found the pumpkin shell, right? Just like the outside skin. But all the rest of the pumpkin had rotted away. That's what happens at the end of a pumpkin's life. It rots away and turns into dirt. But the seeds were still there. So Tim put just a little layer of dirt on top of those seeds. And what happened to those pumpkin seeds? Made a plant. That's right. The pumpkin seed grew a pumpkin sprout. The pumpkin sprout became a pumpkin plant. And the pumpkin plant started to grow pumpkins. That's right. It started with flowers, and then after the flowers were done, little pumpkins grew. And then it grew into a bigger and bigger pumpkin and a bigger pumpkin. And Jack picked all those pumpkins. They turned orange. And then he made another jack-o'-lantern.
He said, "Welcome back, Jack."
That's right. Welcome back, Jack. Very good. And that is the story of the pumpkin seed and Jack. Pumpkin Jack.